Dial Models Workshop.
Hi, it's Yeji.
And Clint.
Hey, it's Larry. You are entering Models Workshop After Hours, a modeling podcast where we talk about miniatures, model painting, and we cuss a lot. If you can be offended, we're probably going to offend you. Then you're going to laugh, and you're going to feel bad. And then we'll offend you again, and then you'll laugh again. You see the pattern. So kick out, sit back, grab your brush, grab your paints, and get ready to have some fun.
Hello, model workers, and welcome to the second Models Workshop After Hours UK edition. This episode of Models Workshop After Hours is sponsored by Audible.com. Grab your 2 free books by visiting www.bit.ly/afterhoursaudible and get your 2 books for life. So I'm Peter, and tonight I'm joined by Chloe and nobody else. Hi, Chloe.
Hello.
Ian is he's decided to go to work instead of recording a podcast. Simon is hiding. Larry was going to join us, but then he decided to break his leg. And we've got a new guy, Dave, and he was going to make his debut tonight as well, except that he's at Warhammer World, or Warhammer Fest, I should say, and he's completely off his face, having been awarded a community award for being a Warhammer hero. So hopefully we'll talk to him soon. So what have you been up to since we last spoke?
I've been painting a lot of tabletop miniatures, actually. So, yeah, I finished those Poxwalkers that I'd started last time. So they're all squared away. And I thought, seeing as all these wonderful models are getting put on for the Golden Demon Awards, I would do a display model. Because I haven't done one to that quality and with that much patience for a while, so... I currently have in front of me the 40 Years of White Dwarf model, which I'm going to do in my own chapter colours, and Night Model's Iron Man bust.
Ah.
So see how they
cool.
go. Yeah, so a little bit more display stuff in the background.
Fantastic. So you've completely finished your Dark Vengeance. No, not Dark Vengeance. What is it? Dark Imperium. No. I have no idea the names of these sets.
No, that's the right name. I've just not finished it. We've done all the Poxwalkers, all the Death Guard actually.
Okay.
We haven't bought a tank, so we need to get that squared. But as far as the Space Marines are concerned, they're stuck together with blue tack, so I can play with them. But apart from being undercoated, there's nothing else.
Oh, that's fine. That's almost tournament ready.
Yeah, and 2 more colours and I'll be squared away.
But you've finished all the Death Guard and Poxwalkers, so you've got one half of the box done.
Yeah, so I've not done any of my models, essentially, but it's cool.
Well,
but I'll get around to them. I just wanted to do something different from tabletop for once, so it'd be nice to spend a bit more time on something.
Yeah, I've
practice techniques.
I've been practicing my techniques this week, getting these commission pieces done. I've been painting a lot of green. I've been painting so much green.
Are you sick of green yet?
Do you know what? Actually, I thought I would be, but I'm not. I'm actually quite enjoying wet blending yellows into greens and making them just jump off the model.
Until your ink goes everywhere and makes a mess.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do when I run out of this this ink that I got 20 years ago. Because
they don't make it.
They really don't. Although actually they do, because it's just the Coat d'Arms. So I just have to go and get a Coat d'Arms ink, and I'm sure it'll be fine.
Oh, that'll be alright then. Safe.
But yeah, I've been doing sort of gym style things, but without oil. Just acrylic wet blending, just making this whole model wet and filled with paint and just mixing on the model.
Sounds dirty.
It's filthy, yeah. And it's actually I'm quite happy with it.
It's all good to experiment with.
Absolutely. We're still talking about painting, right?
Innuendo bingo tonight, guys. I don't know. It depends if Drunk Dave comes on later or Larry. So.
It'd be great if they popped in. One's off his face on morphine and the other one is off his face on wine.
Yeah, we tried to get them in, listeners, for pure entertainment value, but it didn't work, so sorry.
Another time, I think we'll have to get them We'll have to do a drunk painting podcast.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
I think when we all meet up, in that fateful, future day, I think we should get somebody completely stoned on legal medication, obviously legal medication, and somebody else completely drunk, and somebody just really, really tired.
If we can like take some recording material to Warhammer World, we could just get drunk in the Bugman's bar and record there, and that'd be hilarious.
That'd be great. Although we probably would be competing with Warhammer's new podcast.
More competition about
well, absolutely.
We get them really drunk, and then everyone can just join in. It'll be fun.
Because that's one of today's big announcements from day one of Warhammer Fest. Was
there's many.
It's a long list, isn't it? I mean, I thought the stuff they announced at Adepticon was quite fancy, but what they've shown today is just crazy. A new webcomic, the first ever official Warhammer podcast. What are they calling it? Stormcast?
Yeah, Stormcast, I think.
That's an obvious but good name. At least it's not Voxcast.
That would be way too cheesy.
Well, yeah, and they've had some bad history with that on social.
Have they?
Yeah, Voxcaster was the original Twitter handle for Games Workshop.
Okay.
And it was run.
Twitter
they
adept.
were not very Twitter friendly when they started Twitter, no.
I imagine there's quite a lot of trolls on there trying to get bites, and they probably answered back quite easily.
I think all the lawyers jumped in most of the time.
Yeah, not good for social media, really.
Not the best. No, they're a lot more on it these days.
That's good. Hopefully this will work out all right for them then.
Well, fingers crossed. I'd be interested to add this to my dog walking podcast roster. From the live blog, I think let's just talk through the page, the live blog, as they gave it out to the public. I'm sure everybody's probably been through this already. By the time this podcast gets published on Monday, it's Saturday at the minute, but by the time you're hearing this, it's Monday onwards. So the first big thing that they announced was the new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar.
Yes.
Now, that's quite exciting. So we're already on to second edition. This is 3 years after the launch of Age of Sigmar. I don't play AOS.
Me neither. I'm more of a 40k fan.
Me too. I've painted a couple of the models, but they've got some cool new character main figures looking, and girls. Age of Sigmar girl stormcasts. I don't know what we're going to call them.
I think that's they're really marketing this now. It's it looks like it's going to be pretty successful, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've seen that. We were in one of the Warhammer shops the other week, and this family came in, and it was like a little boy and a little girl, and I automatically thought the little boy was going to ask for models, and it was because that's terrible of me, but the little girl was like, "Yeah, I'm here to spend my my birthday money," and Rihanna and I were like, "Yeah, get in there." And she was like, her mum's like, "Well, what do you want?" And she was like, "They're cool." So, like, all AOS stuff. So, it's great that it gets more people into it, and they're really nice models actually as well. Look at what they've released so far.
They are. I like this sort of ethereal, ghosty kind of swooshy, spirity stuff that they're doing. I don't know what they're called, but they look really fragile, but they look really cool.
Yeah, they look like they'd be an absolute pain in the ass if they weren't made out of plastic. Like, if they were the old metal ones, you'd be swearing every 5 seconds.
God, they'd be...
When you move them on the playing field, it would be
They'd just be bending and chipping everywhere, wouldn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, it would be really bad. But the moulding's so good now that hopefully they won't be too bad if you've got a good case.
Yeah, and if they, thank God they're not fine cast, because, they just melt under the lights.
Well, I'm not too sure about the spells though.
They're good-looking models, but I don't know if I'd really want to have. I mean, the purple urchin fish thing, skull.
It's weird.
What are they called?
It's like a blowerfish that's died blown up.
It is, yeah, yeah, but it's what? It's 4 times bigger than the model, than the figure that goes with it. So they've got.
It's just not practical to me.
It's not practical. I mean, you want to fill if you're travelling to a tournament or going playing with friends, and you're having to pack all your miniatures into a case. Do you really want to have giant terrain pieces, bigger than terrain pieces,
no.
As spells?
They look cool.
Awesome.
And if you're lucky enough to have like a home table, that'd be quite cool to have them on the side. But not if you're tournaments or if you're at a local gaming club and you take your stuff around and they just stay in cases all the time, because it's just not practical at all.
No, I mean, this thing looks... This pufferfish. I mean, it's bigger. I mean, I've got quite a large Tau army, and this is it looks like it'll take up the same amount of space in a case as a devilfish.
It's huge.
It's massive. And then there's the my favourite is the flaming skull. I mean, that's
cool.
Awesome. I mean, that's not too big. That's about the same size as as the miniature.
No, it'd be cool to paint as well.
Yeah,
I think. Still, not very practical. But it depends if you like that kind of thing. I suppose it's pretty cool.
That would work really well.
I don't see the point in buying it otherwise.
No, I could see sort of converting that into some sort of orc biker gang kind of thing, and having some sort of Ghost Rider styled orc bikers.
Yeah, I was thinking about Ghost Rider, but I thought if you actually did a full kind of Ghost Rider conversion, you'd probably have those lawyers after you again. So they're pretty cool though. And I wonder if you could get away with that. And what's the percentage rate now for conversion parts non-GW Golden Demon?
Is it like 3%?
Yeah, could probably blag it a little bit.
And of course, I suppose no. A Golden Demon, you're not allowed to mix your 40k with fantasy, are you?
Oh, that's boring.
Or I might be wrong. I seem to remember that was a thing that you couldn't stick a Hobbit part on a fantasy thing, and you couldn't put an orc on an orc. That's a C and a K.
I've been so long since I've entered. I've no idea anymore. I'd have to read the rules again. But,
should really read the rules.
It would make sense, I suppose. Yeah. But I thought it used to be that as long as it was Games Workshop, then you were pretty safe, weren't you? But
pretty much.
Yeah.
So there's a large sort of dinosaur skull being spelled out by an orc shaman. That looks pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Again, really cool to paint.
And pointless to carry.
Yeah.
And some dark elf sort of orbs of lightning.
Yeah, I'm not too keen on them ones. I don't think they're that good.
No?
When you look at how crazy the ones are.
Yeah, they are a
bit details.
A bit pedestrian, aren't they?
It's kind of like they did those 4 and then got to the last one and went,
What?
We'll just make something.
Yeah, let's take a Malteser and wrap some wire around it.
Like lightning. Everyone likes lightning. That'll do.
I'm impressed that they haven't made the lightning look like skulls.
It's kind of, they've gone that way with most other things, haven't they? It's kind of like a theme, and then that's just literally like lightning Maltesers.
Lightning Maltesers, yep.
That's what they're called from now on. And
there's the another one of these ghostly sort of apparitions with skulls coming out of a vortex. I rather like the sculpt of that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You could use that for like a scenery piece as
absolutely,
well.
Yeah.
For a main character model, and then have that in the background. That'd be pretty awesome.
It kind of reminds me of the creepy ghosts in Ghost. I remember when I saw that as a kid, that scared the crap out of me. all these shadows pulling them down to hell, and that actually reminds me of that. So I'm going to click off that.
That's pretty... Okay. Don't want to trigger Peter. Let's turn off.
I'll be hiding under the desk.
You're okay.
I'm all right. I'll survive.
Yeah, they look all right. Just not practical.
So I'll make sure we'll when they come out we'll get you a complete set sent direct.
Oh,
yeah.
Cheers.
And they can sit on your shelf.
But as long as I don't have to buy them, then I'm okay.
Well,
with
fair
that.
enough.
I don't know what I use them for, but if it's free.
Well, yeah, fair enough. I love this. You may have cast a purple sun before, but never like this.
Yeah, no shit, Games Workshop. Cheers.
Get ready for roaming, predatory spells, fantastical enchantments, and summoned sorceries that aren't just words on a war scroll, but active and very deadly participants in your games.
Yeah, if you threw that at someone, that's going to hurt. That is huge.
Yeah, I can see friendly tournaments and shop games going completely wrong when kids are about to rage quit and they pick up their pufferfish skull and start impaling their mates with them.
So say, like, imagine if you cast it and it went wrong, and then your psycho dies, and just pick it up and launch it at someone, and then you've got like an assault case against you. And imagine their court case for that. What happened? I threw a giant spiky pufferfish with a skull on it at someone's face in a Warhammer tournament.
Yeah.
Just be ridiculous.
Yeah, skull pufferfish are now banned from tournaments throughout the land.
It's like a deadly weapon. They basically put that in there for rage quitters. Like.
Yeah, it's actually when you rage quit, you grab it so hard that it hurts your own hand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hand injuries will increase after this is released, without a doubt. And someone turns up with a lightning, and they're like, "Oh, I can't really do anything with that."
No, it sort of snaps just by looking at it. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what these things are actually called, because the caption on the website here is Sorceries 4, Sorceries 5, and 6. Yeah, they're not named. There are some of these.
Don't want to give too much away though, do they? So.
No. But the battle shot that they've put up the picture of the Stormcasts versus the malign portents. That looks awesome. As a clash of.
And the colours are awesome.
But then it always looks awesome when you have heavy metal painters sort of filling up a board of good scenery and good models. And then you got.
That's what they get paid to do. So.
That is exactly what they get paid to do. Yeah. You got Nagash in the background, who's still kicking around from the end times.
They're really bringing him back. It's good.
Well, they've got a load of expensive models that they released only 3 years ago that they want to make some money from again, right?
Why not? If they add a little bit of new sculpt to it, and they've got better casting now, then they might as well. And these new boxes are really good. I was saying to you guys last time that even looking at the 40k starter boxes, we spent like 90 quid, and we got over like £160 worth of models, if not more than that. So when you add it up, the value for money is fantastic in them as a starter set. So it makes sense marketing wise to get out there.
Absolutely, yeah. Dropping the prices, increasing the quality, and every month bringing some new models to the shops. Mm-hmm. It's like they're running a business or something.
It is, isn't it? How strange. They don't just do this for fun, like you.
Yeah, running an international chain of shops for the love of it.
That's probably why they're richer than we are, though. So it's all good.
I don't think that's really hard. My kid's got a piggy bank full of coins, and guaranteed he's richer than I am.
Hellboy's taking all my money at the minute, so you know.
Yeah,
I blame Kickstarter.
I want it to take all my money as well, but I don't think I'd be able to justify that just right now. Maybe if I can get this commission paid for soon, before Hellboy runs out, I might throw some money at it.
Oh, yeah.
Because, from February next year, then I'd, be doing nothing but painting. It'll be up to 150 models by the time this Kickstarter finishes, won't it? But we'll come on to that in a minute. So, yes. Looking at the official summary of what they've put up there, so we've got a new edition of Age of Sigmar, the Night Haunt, which is an army of hateful, sinister spectres. So I'm guessing the Night Haunt is, would that be these new bad guys with Nagash?
Yeah, looks like it. They look pretty spooky, don't they?
The Sacrosanct Chamber opening, revealing Stormcast wizards. So the Lord Ordinator, which was previewed earlier in the year, so that'll have been Adepticon.
Engineers.
Of these guys are engineers, magi and priests who tend the soul forges of the Stormcast Eternals. So these are what the Middle Ages, medieval tech priests.
Yeah, sounds like it. It sounds pretty cool, actually. They could go a lot of places with that, depending on what their sculpts are. But
yeah,
conversion-wise, that'd be pretty cool.
Absolutely, they're looking pretty cool already. I'm not sure about this. The look of the Stormcasts. I mean, they are just Space Marines.
I think I get really bored of painting them.
I got bored of painting one.
They're very samey,
Well, you haven't, as you said, you haven't done your Space Marine chapter yet.
No, very samey.
They're a little bit samey, yeah. But yeah, the thumbnail I've got in front of me is a guy riding a lizard horse.
Mm-hmm. Lizard horse,
yeah.
I like it.
And that looks pretty cool. I do like a good beast of burden.
The animals look cool, and I think you could probably mess around with them quite a bit and paint them quite differently. But yeah, I suppose the actual riders, you're gonna have to keep them quite uniformal, otherwise you won't pull off the army look. But I think I think there's going to be a lot of chances to go outside the book with this, because what Games Workshop put across as a perfect paint job and what other people like to do and rebel against is quite interesting. So I look forward to seeing some of the box painted up.
Yeah, me too. There's plenty of quality painting that doesn't fit by the heavy metal standard, which I like. I suppose I aspire to that standard, but at the same time I go my own way because I can't do that. Yeah. So next up, it's the Plastic Sisters.
Oh, I'm so excited about these.
They look great.
They look amazing.
Now, the main one that they've shown with all the scars on her face and the fleur de lis corset. That was sculpted by Darren Lathan, who used to paint for the heavy metal team, and he now designs. I follow him on Twitter, and he's a hell of a painter, and it would seem he's a hell of a sculptor as well.
Just a little bit. This is incredible sculpt. It is amazing.
And this is plastic. I mean, you've got
so no resin.
Yeah. No resin, no metal. You've got this plastic sister sitting on. I mean, it looks like it's a large base.
Like a chapel floor or something, isn't it?
It's a chapel floor with a couple of candlesticks either side of her. I mean, that's great.
Just look, the detail is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and
compared to the old models, it's like that's what you expected when you open the old like metal blisters, but you never really got it.
No, it was always a bit soft where it's been bouncing around. I mean,
but these look awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is a photograph of a real thing. I think it's a render. So I look forward to seeing what the actual physical product looks like. But I don't see that it's going to be far different from that.
No, we can only hope that it's at least like it, because even if it's just like it, it'll still be amazing. But if it's perfect, then it's just a bonus.
It
really,
is,
isn't it?
yeah. It's going to be a lot of sub-assemblies for painting, though. There's so many overhangs.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to cross her. She looks quite badass.
Absolute badass, even with the corset. I'm sure people will kick off.
Yes, I mean we've got girls now fighting in power armor, and we've got girly stormcasts, and it's already kicked off on Twitter today. People getting up in arms about this age-old fantasy issue of men designing women. So you've got to stick big boobs on it, and if she's in armor, suddenly the armor has to be booby-shaped.
You know, it's strange. So I saw this model today when you sent me the link about the live blog, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. And then, like, the second thought in my mind was, oh, so they stuck with the boobs. Cool. And I was like, is it really necessary? Probably not. But these have been, like, canon for so many years. The artwork has always been the same.
Yeah.
Yes, it was created in a time before everyone got offended by everything, and women can't wear corsets anymore, which is ridiculous. She can wear what she wants, and I wouldn't argue with her. She's got a massive bolter, so let her crack on.
And a grenade on her belt.
Yeah, so, like, if she wants to wear that, let her wear it. Please don't kill me. You know, so they've got to stick to canon in some ways, and this is one of the models. It's like they've released it because that is the typical, you know, sister. That's the artwork that's always been there, and people recognise that. It's like an emblem, you know, or it's a brand, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
So by releasing that, people will see, oh my god, yeah, cool, sisters are coming back out. However, if you look at some of the other models that they've released snapshots of, so most of them are covered up. So yeah, this one is like this, and people will probably get offended about it because they can. But at the end of the day, it's canon, and if you don't like it, just don't buy the models.
There you go. Yeah.
Don't paint them.
Do you not think that the artwork? So you've got the photograph of the render, and then behind it's the old artwork, sort of all faded out, mottled out. That painting, to me, looks like it was modelled on Deborah Harry.
It does, doesn't it?
If she was...
Bit of Blondie going on in the back.
Yeah, it's totally Blondie in power armor.
But to be honest, well, these came out when originally, like the 80s, maybe later.
I think early 90s.
The artwork, yeah. So it's probably quite likely that they
inspired
were
by,
based on popular culture, yeah. So, and that was like a long time ago now. So
yeah,
I wouldn't say how old I was then, but yeah, they, you know, I don't really care. I think if people are going to get offended by it, they will anyway. And like I said, if you don't like them, just don't buy them, and then you don't have to worry about it every day, do you? So
true.
I think it looks awesome.
I mean, you know, in terms of getting offended, Ian sent through a picture of one of the new cheerleaders for the Blood Bowl. There are now cheerleader squads for everybody, including a very very well endowed orc cheerleader.
Amazing.
And she looks like she's been eating many pies.
Wow.
She's she's a big green mushroom.
Well, she's an orc. They're all pretty big. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, have you seen this picture?
I haven't. No, you're going to send it me because I'm going to see this. But
so listeners, have a look for the orc cheerleaders and just have a giggle if you're playing Blood Bowl. I mean, it's pretty comedy anyway that all of these grim dark factions that are trying to kill each other are having a game of American football. So having cheerleader squads made of of orc women is just I'm trying to not fall off my chair at the minute.
It's amazing. I mean, well, that's the thing, isn't it? They're not given into body stereotypes, so screw it, we'll do what we want. And that's the cool thing about sci-fi fantasy, is that we can do what we want in it, really, because it's all made up. So why not?
There you go. I think you hit the nail on the head.
And if people kick off, then really, are Space Marines a realistic view of a bloke? They're all massive. So, if they want to kick off about these women being overly womanly, then they're probably going to have to kick off about how Space Marines are all hench. So it's one of those things.
I mean, they obviously modelled the Space Marines off me. 8 foot tall, genetically engineered, sort of perfection.
8-pack, massive.
No, I'm like Batman. I have a 9-pack.
Yeah, cool. One extra.
That's right. That's.
I love that film.
Yes, I was about to mansplain the Lego thing to you then, and I thought, no, I don't need to.
I'm literally surrounded by it right now. It's my paint corner and my Lego corner, and they're right next to each other, so it's great.
Yeah, that's what I had intended for this shed that I'm in, and it's ended up a bit more cluttery than I really wanted.
Well, I set you up with a new shed friend the other day, so it's up to you now to get out there and design the way forward.
Yes, thank you. I saw somebody posted on one of my Twitters. There's a shed trying to beat a land speed record somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's on. Is it on Top Gear or somewhere or something like that? It's
like the normal land speed record, as in.
I can't imagine they're trying to chase Bloodhound SST, but
because that's like 780 miles an hour. That's like.
Yeah, I mean, this is literally it's a 10x6 shed. By the looks of it, a shiplap wooden shed with two.
Straight away, aerodynamics is going to screw you over there, isn't it?
I think that was part of the caption. Yeah.
But hey, it's worth a try. I like to see it.
So, what's next on today's announcements? A new webcomic. I don't care two shits about webcomics, personally. I'm happy for somebody to make clippings and stick them on Twitter so I can lol in my feed, but I can't be doing sitting around and reading other people's comics all the time. Nobody got time for that.
Nobody got time for that.
Certainly I don't got time for that. So We Are the Storm of Retribution. They've got a few frames of it on the...
It's turbo cheesy, isn't it?
It's really cheesy. And of course they've...
I think this is again their marketing thing, isn't it? Where they're looking at... Well, I like to say they're looking at probably younger people, but maybe not.
Maybe. I mean, they've got guy with ponytail talking to girl with a hammer. Age of Sigmar.
Does she have booby armour?
Okay. Yes, she does.
Oh,
just slightly, but
see, there they go
but
again.
to be fair, so does he.
She's got massive, awesome abs though. So
yeah, yeah, but I mean, he's got big booby armour as well and a ponytail.
He does, yeah. They're thinking of this. They're all over.
They are all over it, yeah. And of course, it ends with a guy in a plaid shirt and a black t-shirt, role playing with his little inch-high toys.
So I presume that he's going pew 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 and stuff.
I guess so. Well, I mean, we all do.
Yeah. I don't think they had to put it down on paper though. Like, everyone likes doing it. I don't think anyone likes to admit it, but it's cool.
I mean, it's nicely drawn. I just hope that I hope the quality improves on the writing.
Yeah, it's like they went to all this effort to bring out like a really cool frames and stuff, and then I don't know what went wrong when they put the comments on it, but we'll see where it goes. I suppose I kind of want to read it now to see what happens next.
Yeah,
but not in like a.
I guess
because I'm more worried about the story than anything else. Where do they take it from here? Is it just this guy's mind? Is this like Inception? I don't know.
It's Inception, or we'll go back to it's the Lego Movie.
Cheers. Yes, and they might come alive and see a cat poster. I don't know.
Oh, they've got to believe. Yeah.
If you believe, you can do it.
Well, I mean, in the movie, if you ever saw the Ultramarines animated film that they made, they spent a lot of money on that. It was not very good.
Many years ago, yeah. It was crap,
It was bloody awful. But they had some quality voice work. I mean, John Hurt was in it. Mm-hmm. So they could get Will Ferrell to lend his likeness to this webcomic.
That would be so cool. If they could, like, actually get him to do that.
I think that would be a great crossover.
We need to send this to them as an idea.
Yep, Games Workshop, if you're listening, and I can almost guarantee that you're not. We both of us, all two of us here, think that you should have Will Ferrell as playing this guy's dad, in the webcomic.
Mm-hmm. Yep, starts with two of us, and you know.
And within a week,
so.
In 2 weeks, Mantic have managed to get nearly 11,000 backers for Plastic Hellboy game. So why in 2 weeks' time should we not have 11,000 people banging on my shed door saying yes, we agree with you?
Yeah, let's do that. So, can we start a Kickstarter to like get support for this? We don't need any money. We just need them to listen. Maybe we can do it off like social media asks or something.
Like one of those YouGov petition pages.
Yeah, like 10,000 signatures is it or something, and then you can send it up to government.
Yeah.
We could just do that for Games Workshop.
Well, if the House of Commons has to comment on it, then Games Workshop will have to listen.
Yeah, and they're like one of the biggest companies in the UK, so like, you know, it's quite important, I think.
And as far as I know, they pay their taxes, right? So they'll definitely.
Oh, you'd think so.
I hope so.
Yeah, can't imagine why not.
So Stormcast, the official Warhammer Age of Sigmar podcast, which will be starting later in the year. They haven't actually said when.
Nope.
Or if they have, they haven't told me.
I don't think they've announced anything else. It says, though, that there's more information coming out tomorrow, so maybe they'll give time and dates and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow, obviously, we're recording Saturday evening, and tomorrow is Sunday, as the song tells us that follows Saturday. I don't know where I'm going with that. I've sort of stuck back in 2009-10, sort of Rebecca Black telling me which day of the week I'm on.
Oh, please do not go there. I've only just got that song out of my head.
Yeah. So it's Golden Demon tomorrow. So hopefully next time we talk, we'll have Ian, who will be at the show tomorrow, and so he'll be able to tell us a lot of what happened there. And I think
if he's not getting drunk with Dave,
I think he'll be peeling Dave off the carpet. I think he's probably still going to be there.
As long as someone's there to look after him, it's okay.
I trust that he can look after himself. He's a grown boy.
Yeah. We'll see how much wine he has, shall we?
I can't wait to see what he comments, having never actually stepped foot into our podcast. He'll listen to this on Monday and say, "What the fuck, guys?"
We'll go, "You left us, this is what you get." Sorry.
Yeah, you
sorry.
decided to go and drink it up instead.
See where your priorities lie, Dave.
You get a certificate and a lot of wine.
God damn you! I'm just jealous, really. That's all.
Not for the certificate, more for the wine, right?
Wine, yeah, definitely. The certificate he completely earned, so that's all on him.
Yes, and well deserved as well. But we'll blow some smoke when we actually talk to him.
Yes, we'll pick him up when he's here.
I'm seeing photos here of lots of cosplay.
Oh, I love this stuff. It's my fave.
Cosplay in Coventry.
We haven't done Warhammer yet, though. We've done a lot of like Comic-Cons. We've not cosplayed any Warhammer type stuff, so this could be something in the future.
There you go.
This could be an idea. Costumes are pretty difficult to make, I think, because all of them are obviously quite intricate, so it would be difficult. But these guys have done a great job.
Yes, they have.
They look awesome.
The Imperial Guard guy looks pretty good. I've seen the Khorne Berserker chap. He was at one of the. Was he at a Comic-Con?
They are quite often there. I've seen a couple of these guys before. It might not be these specific guys, but I recognise the outfits. As in, I've seen them in different places, but especially the film and Comic-Cons.
Yes.
Because they always have a gaming area. So there's one at we went to for the Love of Sci-Fi last year, and they had quite a few there in like Ultramarines and stuff. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. I remember it was Olympia Film and Comic Con. I think about 3-4 years ago that I saw this guy. I suppose if you're going to spend time and money making an outfit like that, you want to show it off as many places as you possibly can.
Yeah, and coming from someone who's used these a lot, it's like the amount of effort you put in, but then also the amount of damage that it gets is surprising throughout the day. So I imagine he's probably done some adjustments on it a few times, or had to fix a few bits.
I can imagine. Yeah, I mean, you've got some good options for costumes now with all of the stuff, and you can choose booby armour or not.
I can go as a sister with giant booby armour for no reason.
And you can just wear those fleur-de-lis all over.
I might do it just for the haters, because it's funny.
Just don't go as an orc cheerleader.
I could do that.
I'll find you that picture. I'll send that over to you in a bit.
Oh yes, I need to see this.
It's quite scary.
In fact, I'm gonna Google this now. 1 second. It's a Blood Bowl, isn't it? Yeah. This is gonna be... Oh, okay.
Right, describe what you're seeing.
I'm not sure which ones are the most recent, but they're all equally as horrendous.
Well, I mean, the one with the pom-poms is an old one, but it's not far away from that.
Who designed these?
Hang on, let me just send you. I've found the picture. I'll send it to you on Messenger.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, there are people who can sculpt.
Oh, she looks angry. She's hench, like.
Oh yeah.
She's really hench. I would not mess with her.
No, she scares the shit out of me. As
beast.
An orc probably should.
Yeah. I regret googling this, if I'm honest. I'm gonna go back and look at some cosplay, because that. Yeah,
the cosplay's a lot more pleasant to look at. Yeah.
That scarred me a little bit. Don't know how I feel about that.
So there's a group shot. It looks like is that a towel at the back?
Mm.
I can't tell what in the white armour behind the two IGs.
Looks like it, doesn't it?
It's more the weaponry that
yes.
It's is that like Shadow Sun or something like that?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't see many. I don't think it's really hard to make them, but I don't think you see many Tau cosplayers. Obviously, Space Marines are going to be the most popular, but that's a really that's like a really cool outfit. I wish I got a picture of them by themselves because you don't see that often.
No, you don't. I'm sure we'll see a picture of some more pictures.
I like the one where the IG guys is lying on the floor, very deaded.
Very deaded.
And just looking over them like, oh, I did something.
So, oops.
Oops.
Oops. Yes, can't turn them. Gonna have to eat them.
Oh, killed them again. Damn it.
Yeah, the blue Space Marine looks pretty cool though.
The Weatherine's awesome on
yeah,
that.
what is he? He's in Imperial Crimson Fist. Yeah.
There's a bit of Pedro going on.
Yeah, that's really good.
It almost looks. You have like in the codex, like the posters.
Yeah.
Of the chapter masters, and he's got that weathering effect down so good that it looks like he's just stepped out of a poster. It's pretty cool.
There's a tagline. Not that you just stepped out of the salon, which I think was a 90s hair care product thing. Yeah, no, I don't know where I'm going to go with that. I'll just stop while I'm behind.
We were all waiting, but
nothing happened. No, that's a recurring theme, I'm afraid.
Never mind.
It's okay. It happens to everybody, right? Mm-hmm. So, live blog 7. I'm on from the crypts.
They look
the
cool.
Night Haunts. I want
fragile.
Yeah. Keep them displayed under glass. But
That wouldn't. It wouldn't be something I'd play with, but I definitely do it for display purposes. Really cool.
that ghostly executioner guy. That's a definite want. I mean, he's got a hangman's noose strapped to his back. He's holding an axe, and he's got a whole spirit horde flying around with him.
It's a really cool model. It's like when they were designing it, they're like, right, what else can we add to this? Someone kept throwing ideas in, and they just had this list on a board, and they're like, you know what, we're just going to make it and see what happens. Yeah. And then that was born, and it's actually turned out really well.
Yeah, but is that... How the hell does that stand up straight?
No idea, but it looks awesome, so it's worth trying, I suppose.
I like the paint job here from the axe tip. As it blends into the ethereal swoosh.
Yeah, some really nice technique work there. I think it took me a lot of practicing to get that down, but
yeah,
they're really good models to do display quality work on.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to buy any though this year, so maybe next year.
Well, they'll be on seconds next year. We'll be able to get them on eBay. Nice and cheap. Probably already painted for you.
You see?
Dipped and varnished.
I'm not into that. I'd have to paint them myself.
Well, yeah. But as you probably know, I do love a good eBay Pro Paint.
Well, you didn't say Pro Painted, so if we're going to go down that road, then I would definitely buy that.
Pro Painted on eBay for damn sure.
Yeah, like that is genuine, like that's real shit. Like hashtag Pro Painted, like that's real experts most of the time. So yeah, I would definitely buy them if they were Pro Painted on eBay. That wasn't in the equation piece.
Oh, sorry, I did. I missed out the one word pro. There looks to be some Skaven. Ghost Skaven.
Yeah, the guys with the little kind of mini scythes at the bottom. They are pretty cool.
That's awesome. Whatever the hell they are, they look brilliant.
I love the skeletons, or They all look like, obviously, ghouly skeletons, which are really cool.
Yeah, I've just
They
finished
should be
painting.
in the vampire army, but not.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I've just finished painting some skeletons, and one of the first things I painted 20-odd years ago were skeletons. So I've got a great fondness for painting skellies. They're great.
These would be like, if you were going to use them as an army, they'd be really fast to paint, really good to batch paint, because they wouldn't take long at all.
No, once you've figured out how to do a nice ghostly wet blend.
Even then, if you just wanted them at tabletop, you could literally crack on, put a few washes on there, smash on some highlights, and you're good to go.
Fair enough,
like,
yeah.
If you wanted a quick army, they'd be actually really good to do. And then obviously spend a little bit more time on your characters, but to get like quite a lot of these guys ready in time would be quite easy, I think, if you were playing with them.
Well, you should get some of these and do that as one of your first videos when you get set up doing the videos.
I could try, see how long it takes to batch paint.
There you go, 20 skeletons in 1.5 hours.
Challenge accepted. Next year, though. I'll write that down and add it to the list. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
We need to stop releasing such cool models.
There's it looks like a character model, but I can't quite tell what the character is. It's ghostly swooshes with arms, carrying padlocks and keys.
Yeah, padlock guy's cool.
I don't know what it is, but it's awesome.
Again, I think they just kind of, with these lot, I think they kind of just went to the whiteboard and were like, you're right, who's got crazy ideas? And someone went, padlocks? And pow, there you go. So they've got a hangman noose scythe guy with ghouls around him and a padlock dude. So, sorted.
The hangman guy kind of reminds me of a sort of Harry Potter Dementor kind of, or there's some
trademark.
Oh, I'm allowed to say it.
Oh no, you are. I'm just mean Games Workshop. Funny.
I'm sure they've already thought of this.
Love me some Harry Potter.
Yeah.
So I'm
there is a Dementor Quidditch team just below it. They're all flying along. One of them's wearing Geordie LaForge's. Three of them are wearing Geordie's little visor.
Yep, and they're all Slytherin, of course, because green.
Yep.
You could paint them up. You could actually probably. This is a good idea. You could make different teams for each house, and they could be your squads. Just saying.
Nice.
That'd be pretty cool. Harry Potter themed Nagash.
I don't think anybody would have a problem with that at all.
That'd be pretty awesome.
And
oh no, I've got an idea for a new army.
There you go.
God damn it.
The Gryffindor schools.
Oh, I'm more of a Ravenclaw myself.
Okay.
So it's all about that blue.
A maroon and yellow stripe for me. Sorry.
Not Hufflepuff.
And then we move on to a re-release, or it's a re-release, but it's also a reimagining of the 80s classic Adeptus Titanicus.
These are amazing.
I can't wait to see this.
Like mini Titans. What more do you want? Like, how big are they? I couldn't really grasp the scale.
I can't quite tell how big these are.
Because there's like mini Reaver and Warlord Titans and stuff, and it's. That's pretty in plastic, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, no more having to drill out resin and pin it with crowbars.
It took me 6 months to do a Reaver Titan as a commission about 5 years ago, and I'll never ever build a Forge World Titan again by myself. Like, it was horrendous.
Really, I've never had the pleasure.
If you want to properly like magnetize it and pin it and stuff, it is just so much work, and I wasn't prepared. Like painting wise, I was all over that, but building, Jesus Christ, that was emotional at some points. So these are awesome. It's plastic. Like I don't really even care how big they are. I think they just look wicked.
Yeah. Oh, they look like they're
The
on.
mini version is great.
I think is that a 60mm base?
Yeah, it looks like they've scaled them all down, but they're still a good size to. Even if you just wanted to do a display piece on them, they're still a really good size, and probably a lot. Well, they will be a hell of a lot cheaper.
Oh, they will, yeah.
How much cheaper, I'm not sure, but I mean, you can fight titans against each other. That's pretty awesome.
I saw something about